Good afternoon and welcome to SAIT Newsfile. I'm Will Manzik. Colton Pankey will have a look at the sports later in the show, but first, Colton, what can we expect?
So we have plenty of hockey, both the Wranglers and Hitmen, but first we're going to look at an esports tournament that the Trojans are participating in.
Ooh, that'll be fun. Katie Rebagliati is outside braving the cold. Katie, isn't it a bit chilly out there?
Definitely will. Today we have a high of -4, so it's not too bad out, but I feel like we really can't complain because all the way back in 1923, it was about -40, which is really cold. I know we have really cold weather here, but that just seems a bit too cold for me. It would be nice to get back to our weather like it was last year, a bit warmer at 0 degrees, or in 1913 when it was about 12 degrees. Will?
Thanks, Katie. Now here's a look at today's top stories. Calgary police are asking drivers who use a section of Deerfoot Trail in their morning commute between 4 to 10:30 to help officers as they investigate a suspicious death. Officers were called to Deerfoot Athletic Park in the 1600 block of 8th Avenue Northeast just after 10:35 this morning by a citizen who discovered a body. Investigators are working with the Office of Chief Medical Examiner to identify the individual, and at this time the death is considered suspicious. Anyone who has dash cam and was driving northbound on Deerfoot Trail between Memorial Drive and 16th Avenue Northeast are asked to help. As well, detectives are asking anyone who may have been at the park today to come forward or to call 403-266-1234. The Calgary Police Service has charged 2 men in relation to a stabbing incident outside the Louise Riley Library in the city's northwest. Police said a 46-year-old man was standing outside the library around 3 p.m. on Monday when he observed 2 men allegedly trying to sell narcotics to an unknown woman. The man asked the suspects to leave the area, and then a verbal argument began, which escalated to a physical altercation. One of the suspects stabbed the victim, who was then transported to hospital in serious life-threatening condition. The victim has since been upgraded to stable condition, and as for the suspects, they were arrested near the Central Library. Samif Namir was charged with 3 counts of possession for the purpose of trafficking, possession of proceeds of crime, and aggravated assault. Badi Ahmed Mohammed was charged with aggravated assault. Both men appeared in court on Wednesday. The ongoing demands on Alberta's healthcare system are stretching resources to the limit. Many workers left during the pandemic, and not enough new hires have taken their places. As Dulce Abella reports, the government of Alberta unveiled a plan today aimed at attracting and retaining a healthcare workforce. Alberta is looking to make it easier to bring in nurses to the province and help alleviate some of the strain on the overworked healthcare system. Alberta is now investing more than $15 million to help train and support more international nurses. This plan was initially introduced back in October and will include $7.8 million, allowing students to access up to $30,000 in bursaries. The remainder of the funds will create 600 new seats in nurse bridging programs at Bow Valley College, Mount Royal University, and Norquest College in Edmonton. Alberta's Advanced Education Minister is confident in the province's plans moving forward to resolve the current issues. Any internationally educated nurses that currently live in the province that are already in one of the bridge programs are eligible for a minimum of $8,000. The Alberta government has announced plans to expand access to detox services in Calgary. This plan wants to help improve public safety while treating addiction. Alex McLeod reports.
Are all publicly funded and free to access for anyone.
The $4 million fund is going toward the Calgary Drop-In Center. This will help establish 15 medical detox beds and 20 pre-treatment beds. Albertans struggling with addiction can be supported in safely withdrawing from drugs. Pre-treatment support will also be offered to help prevent relapse.
Often face many issues from mental health to physical health, and far too many, often, they struggle with the illness of addiction and the use of dangerous drugs.
The plan will also create dynamic overdose response teams. The Calgary Drop-In will work alongside local paramedics and first responders. They hope this will keep communities safe while treating addiction as a healthcare issue.
These programs will be an important piece in removing those barriers so more vulnerable Calgarians can move into recovery and ultimately housing.
These additional beds and support can support up to 1,000 Calgarians every year. Here in Alberta, more than 1,400 people died last year alone from drug overdoses. Albertans can already access Narcan kits to try to mitigate opioid poisonings. Those are available through pharmacies and some community sites, even here at SAIT through health services. The Alberta government wants to continue to build a recovery-oriented system of care. This includes eliminating fees for residential addiction treatment, as well as launching the digital overdose response system. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Alex McLeod.
Tech companies keep on booming in our province, and with a new global tech firm coming here to our city, this could mean a huge economic growth. Irene Tagama joins us now outside the Platform Innovation Center downtown. Irene, who's coming to town?
Well, a global tech firm is coming to build a new branch here in our city. Plexus Technologies already has its location in the US, the UK, India, and Sri Lanka. And this time, the company will be building its Canadian location here in Calgary.
Good news for Alberta's thriving tech sector.
Plexus Technologies is a tech consulting firm that primarily works in system analysis. The company has been going since 2005, but is now looking for more ways to offer its services globally.
They want to invest in a jurisdiction that values and actively supports business growth. One that is committed to reducing red tape, one that has an attractive corporate tax rate, one that has a skilled workforce to support their work, and one that has easy access to major markets.
Plexus looked at multiple cities to jumpstart its business, but felt Calgary has a stronger tech sector.
The most important thing I felt is that we found a very welcoming community. Right? The second of it being there was a good talent pool. Right? There were good, excellent educational institutions, world-class infrastructure and connectivity.
Plexus will receive $1.43 million worth of grants to jumpstart its business through the government's Investment and Growth Fund. With that being said, more job opportunities are expected to occur over the next 3 to 5 years. This would mean bringing a positive impact for the future of technology.
Being a city of innovation, having those tech companies come really opens and strengthens Calgary's tech sector, which is great because it provides more opportunities for our students to get out into industry.
Plexus Technologies is currently looking for a location around the downtown core. Matthew said they're looking for about 4,000 to 5,000 square feet to start, with 4 employees currently working and will be hiring more people in the future. Back to you, Will.
That was Irene Tagama joining us live from the Platform Innovation Center. Thanks, Irene. The hospitality industry has gone through some massive turnover since the pandemic. Servers, bartenders, and support staff have had an influx of job postings pop up this year. As Spencer Melky reports, the industry can be as unpredictable as ever.
It's been a challenging few years for restaurants like Rodney's Oyster House. Managers have found it almost impossible to keep good staff.
Yeah, I've worked at quite a few different restaurants. It's always a thing. Some people come for 2 days, some people come for 2 years. It's just something that's regular in this industry.
Other servers think management can dictate whether solid staff stay or go. From work incentives to staff parties, servers want to be treated properly when it comes to all aspects of the industry.
I've worked at several restaurants. I'm talking like 12, maybe 13 restaurants over my career. And I gotta say, like, including myself, like a lot of places turn over. It's hard to keep good staff, especially in one place. But it's harder to value staff. A lot of managers have a hard time with that. So you see a lot of people switching places all the time.
During the pandemic, many restaurant workers were considered essential, so they boosted up their resume with work time, while others stayed at home.
I think especially after COVID, one of the biggest things is just dealing with coming back to a minimum wage job that does require quite a bit of work, and working with customers. Makes people, second guess themselves on if they really want to be doing this or want to try something else.
Restaurants are big business. The industry generates close to $44 billion a year in revenue. Job postings are uploaded daily on websites like Indeed, as general managers are constantly on the prowl for experienced staff who can make their business even better. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Spencer Milkey.
The popular LGBTQ2S bar known as the Backlot is in need of a new home after a development permit application has their current space in jeopardy. The Backlot has been in their current location of 10th Avenue Southwest since 1996. The bar has served as a gathering space for Calgary's gay community for nearly 50 years. In November 2022, Mark Campbell, the owner of the Backlot, said he received a lease termination notice for later this year. This is because the property owners are preparing to develop an 18-story tower with 120 residential units and commercial space. Recently, a social media campaign called Save the Backlot Bar was launched by lawyer and politician David Kahn in an effort to gather community support for the opposition in development. In the meantime, Campbell said he and others are looking for a potential new location for the bar. The Alberta government held their annual announcement for their top baby names of the year. On the girls' side, Harper landed in the top 5 after missing out on the list last year. Emma finished 3rd this year and has made the top 10 6 years in a row. Sophia gets the silver medal, while Olivia finishes in the top spot for the 10th year in a row and defends her title as the most popular girl name in Alberta. Now over to the boys' side, we see a tie at 7th spot between Benjamin and James. Jack cracks the top 5, and Theodore from Alvin and the Chipmunks starts off our top 3. Capturing the silver medal is Liam, and in first place is Noah for the 10th year in a row, still defending his title as the most popular boys' name in Alberta. Those are today's top stories. Katie Robagliati will have a full look at your forecast after the break, but first, Alex McLeod has a look at what's going on around Calgary this week.
Will you accept this rosé? The Calgary Wine Fest is a can't-miss event for wine lovers. Enjoy a wide variety of wines, from red and white to sparkling. There is something for everyone. Bottoms up. Do you want to throw it back to the 2000s? Dickens is hosting an Anthems of the 2000s party. Grab your apple-bottom jeans, boots with the fur, and get low, low, low. Looking to burn the energy another way? All Sport One City provides beginner sport lessons for those of all ages. Try your hand at yoga, gymnastics, or even underwater hockey. Do you want to take a plunge into fishing? This weekend is Alberta's free family fishing weekend. Anglers of all ages can try fishing without having to purchase a sport fishing license. Animal lovers, head down to the Wildlife Festival. You can see a sloth, the world's largest porcupine, or hug a boa constrictor. Just make sure he doesn't hug you too tight.
Welcome home. What took you so long?
Every single Wednesday, Rumble House hosts an open house auction for their community to auction off their artwork. Beginner or experienced, Rumble House invites artists of all skill levels to participate in their weekly events.
To get involved in our events, call or text 403-629-7424.
403-629-7424.
Or check us out on Facebook for more information.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is broadcast news. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to SAIT Newsfile. That wildlife thing looks pretty fun to go to, but let's take a look at our wild little weather that we're having. So in Vancouver, it's quite warm and sunny at 6 degrees, and in North BC, there is a jet stream pushing through to Alberta. So in Alberta, we are going to be seeing some warm temperatures later on. As we get farther in, we are going to get more clouds going on in Canada, and it is quite cold in Regina there. As we push through to the east side of the country, it is sunny quite south in Toronto and Montreal, but don't let the sun fool you right there for Toronto because they do have a wind warning. Up in the north, St. John's and Halifax are having some clouds and flurries, and St. John's does have a snow warning, so just be careful if you're going there. Bundle up, be careful on the roads. Let's stop talking about snow because that's not so fun, and let's talk about the heat when we go to resorts. Down in Palm Springs, they have the sun out. In Barbados and Cancun, those look like they're the places to be. In Honolulu, it does not look like a bad day to go see a luau. In Orlando and Vegas, they both have the sun out, but Vegas just does not have the heat there. In Calgary today is -4, so not too chilly, but just about the right temperatures to bundle up a bit. We have partly cloudy skies and wind at 5 kilometers an hour pushing from the northeast. Don't let the clouds in the sky make you too upset because we do have some sunshine coming up later on. Across the province, we do have quite a bit of clouds, but in the middle there and down in Medicine Hat, we do have that sun peeking through. Up in Fort McMurray, it is the coldest being -13, which actually isn't too bad for Alberta at this time of year. There is some flurries in Fort McMurray and Grand Prairie and down in Banff, but for Banff, it being -2, it's not a bad day to probably go hit the ski hills. Let's go take a look at our 5-day forecast if you're going to be staying there. So we are going to have a chance of flurries overnight, but hopefully over the next couple days after, since we have that sun, it will be melting. It is getting warmer, especially in Saturday there. We have a high of 8, which is really nice. After the break, we're going to take a look at sports with Colton.
I used to hear voices. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't matter. Walked around in circles, didn't know where to go. Until I found my purpose. Through people that helped me live a better life and build a better future. Now I could finally see that I'm able, capable, and worthy.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry-standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to SAIT Newsfile. Colton Pankew joins us now for a look at the latest sports highlights. What can we expect?
So plenty of hockey, Wranglers and Hitmen, but first we're going to look at an esports tournament that the Trojans are taking part in.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
The Alberta Esports Expo starts this weekend with teams from across the province competing against each other while promoting esports. As Keith Driver reports, the SAIT Trojans will be smashing it up.
The SAIT Trojans esports team is only a year old, as it was created out of student interest, and on a competitive level, it has been influencing other colleges across Alberta.
Post-secondary institutions saw the value in the esports program. So SAIT was actually one of the first institutions to start an esports program under the athletic department. And with us being the first school to do it in Alberta, you can see other schools starting their own program.
One of the teams that will be competing in Edmonton is the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Team, which is comprised of all newcomers to the team and the Trojans program as a whole. This is something the team's manager is working hard on to help the group feel like a team.
Come in and everyone just be together and form some kind of like team camaraderie, and then play singles and doubles because that's what we're going to see at the event in Edmonton, and just get more and more hours of practice.
The game is easy to pick up but hard to master, as the tournament-style Battle Royale fighting game has sold over 30 million copies worldwide on the Nintendo Switch and is one of the most popular games on the system. Since its release in 2018, with an opening roster of 74 popular video game characters, it has grown to 89 playable characters thanks to paid downloadable content. This has created a number of different strategies and playstyles for the game, and there are currently 169 entries for the Edmonton Expo tournament, as many players are able to use more than one character.
With a tournament coming up in Edmonton, it's just as easy as picking up a controller to compete for the Trojans, and anyone can come in at any point. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Keith Driver.
The SAIT Trojans men's and women's hockey team have some very important games taking place this weekend. The men's team will head to Briarcrest this weekend to take on the Clippers in a back-to-back set both Friday and Saturday. The games will be massive ones for the Trojans as they currently trail the Red Deer Polytechnic Kings by 2 points for first place in the ACAC standings. The women's team, on the other hand, desperately needs to find a way to defeat the Red Deer Polytechnic Queens this weekend as their playoff hopes are growing smaller by the weekend. They currently trail the Olds College Broncos by 11 points for the 4th and final playoff spot. Friday's game for the women's team will take place in Red Deer, but they will return to Winsport for Saturday's matchup. The red-hot Calgary Wranglers welcome the Abbotsford Canucks to town on Wednesday night in a game between two of the AHL's strongest teams. The Canucks got things started in this one, as less than midway through the first, Christian Wolanin was able to bang home a rebound past Dustin Wolf. The Wranglers would answer soon after, as Emilio Pettersson took a pass from Cole Schwindt and fired it past Spencer Martin. Moments before the end of the first, Tristan Nielsen got behind the Wranglers' defense and made no mistake on the breakaway to give his team the 2-1 lead. Moving along to the third period, where the Wranglers turned it over in their own zone and Nielsen was able to wire one home for his second of the game. Shortly after, Pettersson was able to get his second of the game to cut the deficit to 1 once again, but it wouldn't matter as Jack Rathbone is able to hammer one past Wolf to give the Canucks a 4-2 lead. That's all they would need as they were able to walk away with the victory. The loss was just the 12th of the season for the Wranglers, who've had very few hiccups this season. They will be back in action tomorrow night against the Colorado Eagles. The Calgary Hitmen struggles continued on Wednesday night as they fell to the Lethbridge Hurricanes by a 3-0 final, marking their 10th straight loss. The new year has been a major struggle for the Hitmen, who can't seem to get anything going. They now sit 8th in the Eastern Conference and risk sliding out of the playoff picture entirely. As for the Hurricanes, they are sitting pretty in 5th place in the East. The Edmonton Oilers faced off against the Detroit Red Wings on Wednesday night as they look to get back into a top 3 spot in the Pacific Division. It didn't take long for the Red Wings to get on things started in this one as Dylan Larkin was able to jam one through the wickets of Jack Campbell to go up 1-0. Fast forward to the second, with the Wings now up 2-0, Derek Ryan was able to dish the puck to Connor McDavid, and the Oilers captain made a great move to the middle before dropping it for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who made no mistake for his 25th of the year. Now jumping to the third, where the Oilers found themselves down 4-2, and Leon Draisaitl was able to hammer one home from his office to cut the deficit. Then, 2 minutes later, Derek Ryan was able to get his stick on a Klim Kostin shot to tie things up at 4. The game would stay tied at that score throughout the remainder of regulation and overtime, meaning we have ourselves a shootout. Connor McDavid came in and was able to zing one past Billy Husso, but David Perron was able to respond immediately to knot things up. After a number of unsuccessful attempts, Pius Suter is able to slide one past Campbell to give the Red Wings the victory. The win marks 4 straight for the Red Wings, who are playing excellent hockey as of late. As for the Oilers, this marks their 2nd straight loss. They will look to get back into the win column tomorrow night versus the New York Rangers. Semi-final matches go tonight at the 2023 Canadian Squash Open at the Bow Valley Square downtown. The first match on Monday featured an American battle between Andrew Douglas and Faraz Khan, one in which Douglas won in straight sets. Douglas was since able to defeat Joel Mackin and is now set to face Miguel Rodriguez in the semifinal. With the victory, he will punch his ticket to the finals on Friday for a chance at $55,000. And that's all for sports.
After the break, we will discuss the new firearm legislation being introduced. I feel like if we can
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality. using industry standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is Broadcast News. Come and dare to be on air.
With new firearm legislation being discussed and introduced, the subject of firearms has once again become a hot topic. Most Canadians, however, know very little about how these machines operate and, more importantly, how to operate them safely. Sam Bagley has more.
With the 2020s seeing the highest uptick in gun ownership in North America, knowledge of firearm safety has never been more important. However, most Calgarians are unfamiliar with the basic tenets of firearm safety.
Gun safety is, what we revolve around in the firearm community. And, if you're not safe with a firearm, then a firearm isn't safe. And so it's absolutely the pinnacle of the firearm community is safety.
No matter the reason for your interest, be it hunting to put affordable meat in the freezer or just recreational shooting, every prospective firearm owner has to take the Purchase and Acquisition License course. There are two tiers to this license, the restricted and non-restricted. If Calgarians are interested in getting their license, there are many routes through which to pursue it.
Any of your local firearms retailers or ranges will absolutely be happy to teach you about firearm safety, but the best source of information is going to be from the Chief Firearms Officer or the Canadian Firearms Program.
Well, they can go to our main authority for the Possession Acquisition License Program is AHIA. AHIA stands for Alberta Hunter Education Instructors Association. They are the governing body for the province of Alberta. We can get all sorts of not only hunting information, but we can get some shooting information from them as well.
No matter what your beliefs, I'm sure we can all agree that firearm safety is of the utmost importance. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Sammy B.
Stretching resources to the limit. Many workers left during the pandemic and not enough new hires have taken their places. As Dulce Abella reports, the government of Alberta unveiled a plan today aimed at attracting and retaining a healthcare workforce.
Things aren't going to change overnight, but we have laid the foundation for a strong and sustainable health system.
The Alberta government has committed $158 million to recruit more doctors and other medical specialists to fill gaps in healthcare. The announcement comes as Alberta continues to try to expand its healthcare since the province's health system is struggling to meet the demand for its services.
Alberta's population also continues to age and grow, putting additional pressures on our healthcare system. As a result, many Albertans have experienced challenges accessing the services they need when and where they need them.
This investment will include funding for more physicians, nurses, healthcare aides, and allied health professionals to be trained.
$90 million to strengthen programs to attract and retain rural physicians, $29 million to fulfill the government's commitment in the agreement signed with the Alberta Medical Association that specifically focuses on underserviced rural and remote communities.
Parts of the investments will also be $7 million for the targeted recruitment of internationally trained nurses from the United States and United Kingdom.
Alberta's government will be putting in place the necessary strategies to ensure that we offer Albertans the training needed to develop these skills within our province.
It has always been difficult to draw qualified healthcare workers to continuing care, particularly in rural areas. And this new strategy will increase the potential for Alberta to attract and retain a skilled, fit, and resilient workforce. In addition to the $158 million that were disclosed today, more initiatives will be made in public in the upcoming weeks. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Dulce Abella.
Thank you for joining today's SAIT Newsfile update, and have a good night. We'll catch you next time. Bye.